Ah, well, don't you worry, Bulma. My brother and I will accompany you and help you find those Dragon Balls. Why not? I'm Raditz. Hey guys, DB right here, and today, after a long time of waiting, we are finally back with What If Raditz Went with Goku to Earth, Part 2. And I do apologize for how long it has taken me to do the second part, mostly because, well, I basically forgot I was doing this one. So I'm sorry if I've left you guys, hanging a little too long. But without further ado, we're going to get into this right now. And, well, when we last left off, basically, we told a bit of a story about how Raditz chose not to ignore Frieza's callback order, and basically left for Planet Vegeta, and getting home just around the time where Goku and Gine were about to send Kakarot off-world. And, well, since they both are relatively small enough to fit into the same pod, Bardock and Gine managed to evacuate both their children. Both of them now residing on planet Earth with Grandpa Gohan. Raditz was thinking about blowing away the old man, but after Grandpa Gohan pretty much incapacitating him by grabbing his tail, it basically, put a stop to that. And, yeah, well, in time, Raditz began to accept Grandpa Gohan, and so, basically, this is where our story continues. We've had into a bit of a time skip here, as now that the original events of Dragon Ball are about to start coming in. One day, Kakarot, yes, his name is Kakarot in this reality, after all, Raditz is his brother, so there is a name, and yes, Grandpa Gohan knows all about the Saiyans, what kind of people they were, and more importantly, the Great Ape transformation. So this would mean that Grandpa Gohan survives up to the present. Much like Master Roshi, he's probably got a lot of years left anyway. Anyways, back to the story. Goku and Raditz have done a bit of tail fishing together. Raditz, who's now basically a full-grown adult at the beginning of Dragon Ball, and the his youngest 12-year-old brother, Kakarot, is behind him with his own catch. And, well, do they live in the same hut as Grandpa Gohan? No, Raditz managed to build their own little hut. So they weren't always in Grandpa Gohan's way. I mean, they do like going over and spending time with him and everything. But after all, Raditz must keep up his independence. So, yes, they wouldn't want to be a burden to the old man. And they're not. They're always helping him with chores and things like that. And Raditz has more or less gotten used to permanent life on this planet. However, a certain blue-haired girl is about to crash their car into them. Just like she pretty much does in the original. Raditz being able to dodge it, Kakarot getting a little bit of a love tap from the bonnet of the car. Huh, you dare challenge me, monster? Kakarot, don't bother. It's a machine. A machine? Yeah, a car. Ah, so this is a car. And, well, Bulma steps out, making her appearance and just apologizing to the two brothers. And Raditz basically just saying, don't sweat it. Ah, so you're a girl, huh? Yes, do you want to see my certificate of authenticity? Trust me, Kakarot, she's a girl. I've never seen one before. Wow, have you guys lived your whole lives out here? Me not so much, him yes. You see, we're Saiyans from the mighty Planet Vegeta. Surely you've heard of our greatness. Nope, sorry. I see. So while they invite Bulma over for lunch, who wants to go there anyway, because according to the Dragon Raider, it's possible the Dragon Ball is coming from their house. And so Raditz fills her in on what they are, and she finds the whole thing fascinating. Aliens from another planet, no wonder why Kakarot survived, being run down just a moment ago. And, yeah. Does she actually full-on believe it? Not really, but, hey, how would she know? I mean, those tales would have had to have come from somewhere. So anyways, with, them sitting together and talking till lunch, and Bulma revealing to everyone why she was out there to gather the Dragon Balls, that with it you could wish for anything you want, and yeah, basically she humbly asked Grandpa Gohan if she could borrow his Dragon Ball, and Grandpa Gohan wasn't overly too fond with this idea. After all, Bulma didn't exactly look like the type of person who could really look after herself. But then he has an idea. You know what? I'd be happy to let you borrow the Dragon Ball, dearie. Just, how about you let the boys come with you? I assure you, they are capable warriors, and will be able to protect you. After all, there are a lot of creeps and dinosaurs lurking around particularly this area. And well, Bulma deciding that, yeah, that's probably not such a bad idea. I mean, she had a little trouble attaining the two that she did have. So yeah, it's probably not the best idea that from this point on, she has at least a couple of bodyguards with her. So, the boys all set off in her car, and the magical journey begins. After all, Goku didn't smash up her car this time. Wow, this thing goes pretty quick. It goes almost as fast as I can run. Really, Kakarot? I think it's going a bit too slow. It's going slower than I can run. You're, joking, right, boys? Okay, I see you're not. And, well, a giant, pterodactyl bird tries to swoop in and, essentially ends up grabbing the car and flying off with it. I mean, yes, it's the same pterodactyl monster from the original that grabs Bulma originally. Looks like I got myself a buffet of snacks here. I'm going to enjoy my lunch. Well, don't just stand there. You're supposed to be my bodyguards. Get out there and fix this. Alright, no problem. Now, in this timeline, Kakarot can fly. Raditz, who was able to fly before, being raised on Planet Vegeta, he taught his brother how to fly. So they can both fly in this timeline. They easily get out and fly, and both of them together basically double team the dinosaur. Yeah, he's not going to be bothering anyone anymore. But then the car is just crashing down. Guys, you forgot about me! She's closing her eyes, ready for the sudden splat when she hits the ground. But it doesn't happen. Raditz catches her car and just places her down carefully. Are you too crazy? That was too close, or I ought to mow you down right here. Yes, you could do that, but who's gonna protect you then, Oh yes, I see your point. And well, they pretty much carry on with their journey until Bulma decides she wants to take it up a night and sets up a capsule house and goes sleeping. Meanwhile, the boys are gonna go out and hunt some wolf for some lunch. Since they couldn't really understand, how modern food works. And well, the boys were quite happily to rough it, just sleep under the stars, while Bulma pretty much had her house to herself. Raditz sort of realizing perhaps it's best we Let her have some time alone, Kakarot. And well, the only time they basically stepped in is when basically Bulma made take a shower. And of course, realizing that their tales are for real and that they are indeed Saiyans, just like they said they were. And so basically from there, they pretty much help Turtle out like they do in the original, meeting Master Roshi, who, well, thanks to Bulma, they do indeed retrieve the Dragon Ball, and Kakarot gets his flying Nimbus. Can Raditz ride the Nimbus? Actually, no. Now, Raditz may not be a bad guy in this timeline, but he's still... He does have that I am the best sort of attitude. He doesn't quite have as much humility and is kind-hearted as Kakarot, so he's, yeah, he falls through the cloud, and of course so does Bulma. So Kakarot's the only one who can basically ride it. He's like, huh, I doubt that thing could keep up with my flying anyway. So with the Dragon Ball given to him like it does basically in the original, they basically move on and basically they manage to capture Oolong, who joins their party, as well as have their brief battle with Yamcha, who basically does not stand a chance against the Saiyan brothers, and also ends up pretty much joining their party after helping them save Bulma and Raditz from Monster Carrot. Yes, Bulma and Raditz end up touching Monster Carrot and turning into carrots in this story. So it's up to Kakarot and Yamcha to ultimately save the two and have Monster Carrot change them back into carrots, and Kakarot using his power pole to send Monster Carrot up to the moon to make moon cakes for all the little children. Raditz sort of scratching his head about that. Brother, why didn't you transform into a great ape? You were right on the moon. I don't know what to tell you. And well, so basically the rest of the People of Saga would pretty much play pretty much normally, except that you've got Raditz there, and you would have two Great Ape monkeys running a rampage and destroying the tower. Luckily, Raditz has a lot more control in his Great Ape form, so he can stop Kakarot from attacking their friends and just focus on, you know, getting their revenge on Pilaf for capturing him. And of course, Oolong got his underpants wish like he does in the original, which ultimately wraps up the Pilaf saga. Now, much like in the original, everyone goes their separate ways. Yamcha and Bulma becoming a couple. The two brothers are heading back to Mount Palzu to tell Grandpa Gohan all about their adventures, and then to fly off to Roshi's Island in order to basically, yeah, begin training for the World Tournament. Now, the huge difference to this story is that Chi-Chi is not infatuated by Goku in this timeline. She's actually more or less infatuated by Raditz. After all, he's big, he's strong, good looking, you know. And Chi-Chi pretty much is of that age where girls start thinking in that sort of direction. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly add that in. So she does like Goku as sort of a friend, but she's she has eyes for Raditz in this point of the story. And I thought that could lead to some comedic gold moments anyways. So, with that, Raditz, along with Goku, are on the island, and of course, Krillin makes his arrival too, and well, he is instructed that the three of them go find me a date. And well, this is where Launch comes into the story, pretty much exactly like they do in the original, and they go to the island and the training session begins. And pretty much, Roshi is then putting Raditz, Goku and Krillin through the exact same training that he gives Krillin and Goku in the original. And so they're plowing fields, doing the whole milk delivery thing, and Raditz, he's physically coping with the training a lot easier than the boys. However, since it has been some time since he's really had to really use his muscles, it's still not as easy for him as it might have been, you know, had he kept up with his training more or less. In other words, so Raditz is lacking a little bit of his conditioning, but he still has more conditioning than Kakarot and Krillin at this point. And so, eventually they graduate to the 50-pound shells and to the 100-pound shells, and that pretty much goes right up into the Tenkaichi Budokai when they're reunited with Bulma, Oolong, Pa, and Yamcha. And basically you got all them entering the tournament, and basically Raditz ends up beating out through from Giran's spot. And so you pretty much the matchup lineup. You got Bacterian versus Krillin, like in the original. Yamcha and Jackie Chun, Ranfan and Nam, and Raditz versus Goku or Kakarot. And so basically, with the first 3 matches, pretty much play out exactly like they do in the original, with Krillin getting past Bacterian, Jackie Chun losing humiliatingly to Jackie Chun, the disguised Master Roshi, and Ranfan losing to Nam despite her dirty tricks. And as for the match between Raditz and Kakarot, it truly was a kind of spectacle that the crowd was really looking for. They both seemed quite evenly matched, but ultimately it was pretty much like a fun, glorified sparring session. After all, Raditz is almost on like the 200 mark, something like that, while Kakarot is more or less on Goku's on his 100 mark. So yeah, Raditz is still the stronger out of the two. Remember, Raditz hasn't been out in space all these years and then recently joined the Dragon Ball and doing missions with Nappa and Vegeta in this timeline. So this Raditz at the moment is significantly weaker to the one we know. Whether it'll stay that way, that has yet to be seen. So in the end, Raditz beats Kakarot out of the tournament and heads into a semi-match with Nam, who is pretty much beaten with not much trouble at all. Krillin is still beaten by Jackie Chun. Now after Jackie Chun helps Nam with getting his water for his people, and Nam hiding in the crowd pretending that he's Master Roshi so people would stop suspecting that Jackie Chun was Roshi, we get to the final match with Raditz battling Jackie Chun, and it is a really intense battle. It's you remember how intense the battle Jackie Chun had with Tien Shinhan? It was a lot like that. It was just brutal in a way. After all, Raditz isn't the type really to pull his punches, and thanks to his cautious nature, he knows when to hold back and back off and study the old man carefully. And well, this leads into a pretty good fight. Raditz actually seems to have a bit of a brain on him. He's quite a cautious fellow. However, whack, being too cautious can be a weakness as well. And because in the end, to win, you must attack. And essentially, yeah, this pretty much leads to Raditz using the Roshi hitting Raditz with the lightning surprise attack, and much like Goku does in the Goku does in the original, Raditz in this case looks up to the moon and goes Ozaru, and luckily he has his control, so he's not destroying things on purpose or hurting anyone. In fact, he's sort of just sitting there patiently until Pyre or someone could cut off his tail. But Roshi decides to take it upon himself to use a Kamehameha to blow up the moon instead. So Raditz is reduced to his normal size, and the battle is more or less continuing with Raditz having to switch into his Saiyan armor, which with the battle still going on, basically Raditz actually ends up winning the tournament. That last Kamehameha took it all out on Jackie Chun, and because Raditz is nowhere near as short as Kakarot is in this story, and he's quite taller than Roshi, when Roshi attempts the final kick, it's actually Raditz's kick that hurts the Master more, and that basically knocks him out for the 10, with Raditz being able to get up and claim victory. And so, with the tournament wrapping up, and that with Roshi going somewhere to take his wig off, and Raditz treating everyone to a victory meal, Roshi giving them a speech. You may have beat that Jackie Chan fellow, Raditz, but there are always going to be someone that comes along stronger. You must be ready for that. Raditz basically stating that he already knows this fact. I already know that fact, Master. There are Saiyan warriors out there who are 15 times stronger than me, my father being one of them. And Prince Vegeta and Nappa, if they're still around. Ha, but you watch. One day I will work and I will surpass even those two. And well, with that, the year has gone by since the last Dragon Ball hunt. Raditz and Goku are thinking about going off to find Grandpa Gohan's ball. After all, it is something that belonged to him, so may as well go out and see if they can return it. And I think that's where we're going to leave things for right now. So what did you guys think? Did you enjoy this story? You know, how are things in the Red Ribbon Army Saga going to play out with Raditz being around, as well as the Anyway, I think it'll be pretty interesting with Raditz tagging along with Goku, the Saiyan brothers out to save the world. Yeah, I think we're going to have some fun there. Anyways, as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys again next time. See you later, and let's get this discussion going.